Welcome! I'm glad you're here. You're listening to Banjo Chat, where I bring in amazing banjo players and chat with them about their life, their music, their stories, their pitfalls, inspirations, and advice. So, join us on this journey into Banjo Chat. Hello, and welcome to the Banjo Chat. I'm your host, Hillary Hawk. I know what you're doing. You're driving out there on the road. It's the only time you get away and listen to podcasts. You gotta get your car washed, you gotta get it vacuumed, but you don't have the time. Or you don't want to do it before your dog gets in the back. You should do it after. And put some air in those tires. That's what my dad always said growing up. He put me in a panic about getting air in my tires all the time. But, yeah, I bet that's what you're doing. Or are you doing the dishes? I don't know. I'm just pipe dreaming. I'm rolling along with it because I don't have a car. I'm just imagining what it would be like. But, yeah, I'm here. I'm working hard here in New York City trying to stay afloat. And, working on the podcast. And I'll be playing banjo and electric guitar and acoustic guitar coming up as a sub on the upcoming show on Broadway that features the music of Sufjan Stevens. I don't know if you know Sufjan Stevens, but he's a great musician. He had an album a couple years back called Illinois. So that's the show. And it's opening night tonight, Wednesday. So if you get a chance, check it out. Here we go. My next guest on the Banjo Chat is on a tremendous rise right now, and not a surprise, in my opinion. Considered one of the best voices in country music today, and I mean that, and I knew it. It's no surprise to me. I've known my guest for almost 18 years now or so. I knew it before. I'm so happy that she's being heard by a wider audience. But you know what? She's always been doing it. It's not like she just started working hard, and over the years, she's been on the road with various bands as a side person, as a bass player, a strong rhythm section, as a harmony singer, writing songs, as a banjo player. And in the past 6 years or so, I don't know, I might not have that number right, she's come into her own as a lead singer and songwriter. She's had a lot of success with her album Daddy's Country Gold and the most recent album Ramblin' Soul that have kind of thrusted her into the spotlight with some major national shows, including a debut on the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, come on. If that's not the dream, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, And it's for her own original music, her own songs. Okay, and if you're listening to this podcast for the first time, you're thinking, Hillary, why do you have a country singer on the Banjo Chat? Why do you have a hillbilly country singer here? Well, first of all, she's amazing, and you're all blessed to hear her, but she also gave me my first and only clawhammer banjo lesson, and as well as my first upright bass lesson, both of which I still use in my music career, both of which, I mean, kind of changed my life. I'm a musician full-time, and I teach clawhammer banjo. She kind of changed my life in a way, in a huge, inspiring way, so on and on, here I go. She's had many bands over the years. The Carper family was a member of Sad Daddy, the Mountain Sprouts, the Maybells, the Buffalo Gals, and there are a couple other bands too. But now she's doing it. My guest is a special friend of mine. She has many talents, and one of them is really unlocking the beauty in a banjo and writing songs that sound like they're old classics with a bit of quirky humor. I'm looking at her tour schedule. It's packed. I'm literally so damn happy that she's doing what she loves. So I could go on, but I'll let her talk. Welcome to the Banjo Chat, Melissa Carper.
Hey, Hillary. Wow, that's got to be the best introduction I've ever received.
I felt like I was like, am I just going to keep going? I should probably bring you in here, but I could keep going. That's what the thing is.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's great to get to talk to you. We haven't hung out in a long time.
I'm literally all excited. I feel like I ate a bunch of gummy bears. Like I'm high on sugar or something. Because I think the last time I saw you, it's almost a year now. Time flies. We were playing over at that bar. It's great, but it's a little divey in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. It's called Skinny Dennis. You were there with Mose Wilson on guitar and playing a duo set, and I opened up for you guys along with Jan Bell, and we sat in with you guys on some tunes at the end. And I remember you said at the end of the show, I was playing a banjo tune, and you were like, "Who would have thought there'd be hillbilly tunes in Brooklyn?"
I said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's really funny. And that made me laugh because, that's kind of my life here.
Yeah, you're like, I do this all the time. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm like, maybe I should rethink everything. But and I got my "Go and Get Some Goats" T-shirt from you, and
Oh,
yeah, that's one of your songs. Just for all the listeners out there, that's one of your. Would you like to go get? Would you like to get some goats? I think it's what it says, and that's one of your songs. But yeah, I've been wondering, like, how is it on the road? Are you mostly touring as a duo? Like, what's it like right now for you?
well, I've been going out this year a little as a 4-piece and a trio. So I'm taking more folks on the road because the shows are a little bit better, and I'm able to represent my songs better with a bigger band. So that's exciting. I've also been going out with Kelly Willis and Brennan Lee as a trio, and we just released a little EP, and we're calling that group now has a name, the Wonder Women of Country. So
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, what does Kelly Willis play? I'm sorry, I'm out of the loop a little bit.
she plays rhythm guitar, and she's got a beautiful voice, great songwriter. She's been doing it forever, and then I've been playing with Brennan for a long time, so you might know Brennan Lee.
Yeah, I know Brennan Lee. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, check it out. We just put out an EP together.
Oh, sweet. Gosh, man, you're doing a lot of stuff right now. And I think one of the things that amazes me the most is kind of like the uncovering over time to like where you are right now, like an unveiling. Can I say an unveiling? I'm saying it. Unveiling.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating. Like the songs and your singing, it's always been there, but a lot of times you've been a side person in bands. And I mean, we were in the Maybells briefly together for like a year or so, and during that time, I was playing banjo, you were playing bass, and I remember you sang maybe like one or two songs solo, and that was so fun. I mean, you guys were so sweet to me on the road.
Yeah, well, I know I've been shy. I'm a shy person. I don't love to be on stage and be the center of attention. So it kind of was sort of a natural thing for me to be happy in the background, playing bass, singing harmony, maybe singing a little bit of lead here and there. And then I definitely, like in my 30s, I definitely became a stronger songwriter. And so that helped, kind of motivate me to start recording my own albums when you have a bunch of songs that you feel like you want to represent in a recording. So
Yeah. Did you work on the songwriting, or was there something that like kind of you just were like, I gotta put my heart and soul into this now? Like, what is there anything that like kind of changed for you?
When I left Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and quit Mountain Sprout, which was a hillbilly, or we called it Porno Billy. That band. We played a bunch of bluegrass tunes, and then the lead singer in that band. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how do I keep my phone calls from coming through on our Zoom? I'm sorry about that.
I don't know.
I'm sorry about that. I put my do not disturb on. So I don't know if you're gonna have to edit that out or not, but I could start over on that question.
Sure, I think I just missed a little bit of it, but
Okay. I was just saying that I quit Mountain Sprout, which was a bluegrass hillbilly porno billy band I was in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and I moved down to Austin. And right around that time, my songwriting really started. I wrote like 30 songs that year, and I did quit drinking, which was helpful. I feel like quitting drinking and also just getting away from some stuff, some old stuff, and like kind of starting new was an inspiration for me to write songs. I was also heartbroken, so I had 20 songs about being heartbroken.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I don't know. It just was the time for me for my creativity to really come alive for whatever reason. I might have been stifling it a bit by doing some unhealthy things.
Are you still not drinking?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through periods where I'll allow myself to have like a drink or two, but I always feel the best when I decide not to drink at all, because it's just honestly the easiest on the road to go with that approach, because it's all around you for free and so easy to use it for, like, if you're feeling nervous or if you have anxiety or if you just need to calm down from the being wired from the show. And so I feel like it's just been the best as I'm getting older. It's just been the best approach for me to not have any at all.
Yeah. Is there
no more fun? No more fun for me.
Well, I was, wondering for myself, because I feel like I need a drink from time to time. I feel like I don't have like an alcohol problem at all, but like I do feel like I need it to come down from a show. Like the energy is so high. Do you do anything else that like it kind of replaces that? I mean, you don't have to get too like specific, but like if there's like a healthy alternative, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of healthy alternatives. I actually I don't keep it with me all the time, but CBD has been helpful before for that. And this last gig that I had on the road, the last place like gave us a bunch of CBD drinks, and I actually drank one before the show, and I was like, wow, I'm a little bit too relaxed for this show. But
no,
yeah,
I feel that.
But that helped me, having those. So I kind of have to remember to maybe have that on the road with me, because it's better than like I've also used Benadryl before, and that's just stupid.
Wow,
that's just stupid, I'll use it when I just can't sleep and I know I have it with me, and I'm like, is it better for me to take this drug and actually get some sleep, or should I just stay up all night? And then usually I'm like, I'm just gonna take this, but I try not to take Benadryl unless I actually am having allergies and can't sleep. But anyway, yeah, I need to find that healthy alternative, because I think CBD might be the thing, honestly. I know, in general, meditation and that kind of stuff can really calm your anxiety. So I could also try that before bed.
Yeah, like I have this I have this other problem where, you were saying you're like a little bit shy, and I get a lot of like social anxiety, like going out and playing, and I have been decaffeinated for like 7-8 years where I don't do caffeine. And I recently figured out that if I drink a Diet Coke before I go out, it removes my anxiety.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And that's been like, it's kind of a weird experiment where I've been like, I was drinking some tea, but tea is okay, but the Diet Coke, I'm like, now I can do anything. I feel like Superwoman. I go out and I have my Diet Coke, and it's a weird, like, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, well, I have noticed since you mentioned you quit caffeine that I quit coffee for about a year or so, and I replaced it with green tea, and I had a lot less anxiety from not drinking coffee. So coffee, as fun as it is, it really does increase the amount of anxiety that your nervous system has. So it's not, it's like I said, there's no more fun for me.
You don't have the coffee. You don't have the drink.
I can't have coffee. I can't drink. Yeah.
And like I've said on here before on the podcast, like I don't judge anybody. If you're drinking your like espresso and you're happy, that's great. But like for me, coffee is like the devil for me. Like it makes my eyes red. It makes my heart palpitate.
Oh dang.
Yeah, like I gotta stay away from the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it sounds
like,
I kind of I already have a really low blood pressure, so I think for me, it's like kind of it gets me going, but then I don't want to stop because I got that sort of addictive, behavior where I just keep doing something that makes me feel good until it doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us feel like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But hey, let's talk about banjo for a second.
That's right.
This is a banjo chat. You actually showed me how to play clawhammer banjo. You're the first person, and then I taught myself from that point on. I've never really had a banjo teacher on clawhammer. I've taken a lot of finger picking lessons. I started with finger picking, but you showed me the ways of clawhammer, and I'll never forget. Like I'll never forget when you sat me down and some of the things you said, and it's been a big part of my career. So I was, wondering, and I don't even remember. I don't even know if you ever told me, like, what has banjo been in your life? Like, when did you start? Like, what has it been for you in your life?
That's crazy to me that you learned clawhammer from me, because I consider my clawhammer playing to be pretty bad. But I mean, I just never practiced enough to get good at it, I wanted to play banjo. I started playing in one of my first bands with Gina Galena, and she played clawhammer banjo. I played upright bass, and from hearing her play, I always wanted to learn it. I've always thought it was just such a beautiful banjo style. And then I remember when I bought my first banjo, I was like, when I retire, I'm going to play this instead of upright bass. I don't know, because it's lighter and easier or something. But anyway.
I love that's your dream. Like that's
yeah.
When some people go to Miami. Some people like sit on the beach. Now I'm going to get a banjo.
Yeah, but I guess, I was doing a lot of busking too, and I would busk with guitar. I think that the clawhammer style, especially, it's really easy to sing and accompany yourself. You can pick out the melody, and then you're also strumming the chords. It just made sense to me, that style. And the finger picking actually scared me. I was like, that sounds like it would take a lot of practice to get good at it. So anyway, and then as I messed around on the clawhammer banjo, I realized that it was kind of easy to write a song using that style as well. And I would find myself just, messing around, picking out a little melody, and I'd be like, that's a cool melody, maybe I'll try to write words to it. And I don't usually write a song that way, so it made me write a song backwards from my normal process, which was kind of cool, to create the melody first and then to write a tune, write the lyrics around it. So that's been fun to approach songwriting with the clawhammer banjo.
Yeah, and do you usually write with guitar or bass? Otherwise,
I usually write with nothing at all.
Okay.
I'll just be either walking around, driving around, and it'll come from the lyric, and then the melody comes with the lyric usually. So, I'll usually have one phrase that I start a song with, and I'll develop a melody around that phrase fairly quickly, and then the song just flows from there. Oftentimes, I'll have written the whole thing before I sit down with a guitar and find out what the chords are to the song that I've written. So that's my normal process. And
so you're kind of hearing the melody or lyrics in your head, and then you throw some chords on top and see what.
The chords I find the chords afterwards. So I think it's a cool way of writing. It allows the song to come in really supernaturally without. I didn't mean to say supernaturally, but it allows it to come in naturally. Where you're not trying to, make it do anything. It's with an instrument. It's just like, it finds its sort of its own way via the melody and the lyrics.
Well, I wonder if it's because that you're playing so many gigs or you're on the road that it inspire it gives you the inertia to write the music or write new songs because you have a reason to have new songs, or the venues you're playing in, and you're like, oh, maybe this would be great for this venue. Does that enter your mind at all? Like you want a song for a certain place or a certain type of music, or?
It's not really for a certain place or type of music, but I do find inspiration on the road. Driving and traveling to different towns, being in that sort of free, rambling space is a creative space for me. So I'll get ideas from the people I'm around, the other, the musicians that I'm around. because I think when you're around other creative minds, you're naturally inspired. So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you ever had like a time when you felt like you were really stuck, like you weren't writing any songs? Like for example, like when I can't write, or like not even when I'm thinking that I can't write, like I'll have like 6 months where I'm not writing songs, and I'll feel like a chicken that can't lay an egg. Like I feel irritated and I don't know why. And then, I'll have some space for myself and I'll write like 4 or 5 at a time. And it's like all of a sudden I laid like a batch of eggs. Like,
Nice.
I always think of that. Like I feel like a chicken that's just like brooding for a while,
That.
Do you ever have those moments?
I've definitely had long periods of time where I did not feel inspired to write. And I didn't really push it. I didn't really try to. I just was hoping that someday I would feel inspired again. These days, I'm actually feeling inspired all the time, usually. I still have that feeling like I'll wonder, like, will I ever write a good song again? Just wondering if I'll get the good idea or something. But I've started doing a lot more co-writing, and recently, like, I've been home quite a bit for winter in the last few months, and I've been teaming up with some people, and I've found that for me, co-writing and kind of feeding off of all other people's creativity and allowing someone else to help me with ideas and starting songs and finishing songs, that's been really nice, especially since I've been so busy. It's hard to just do it all myself, and I used to be scared of co-writing, but now I feel like I'm using it as a tool to get more songs written quicker, and to have like the perspective of a second mind in on a song, which is really fun.
Well, have you done some co-writing with Rebecca Paddock? Is that how you say her last name? Paddock?
Yeah, Paddock. Yeah, we've done quite a bit of co-writing. So Brand New Old Time Songs, that album, that was just the two of us. I was mostly on banjo, she was mostly on fiddle, and a lot of those songs were co-writes. On Where the Heart Wants to Go, that album, we have some co-writes. Rebecca is constantly giving me song ideas. If it's not a co-write, she's like, you should write about this. And then I do. And I'm just like, should I give you credit? Because you just told me to write about it.
Oh, wow.
But she's got the best ideas. She really does. And if I'm stuck in a song, I'll just kind of ask her. I'm like, what do you think should go next? And then she just tells me, and then I just write it. So, yeah, she has great ideas.
Sounds like a good team. Well, let's take a listen, if you don't mind. I'd love to listen to a song from the album Brand New Old Time Songs, and it's called Old Sweet Home. So here we go.
At last I've returned to my own sweet home in the hills and hollers where I play. And my dear old friends I meet again, and it's here my heart longs to stay. I have traveled far and wandered wide for to seek my fortune and fame. In my old sweet home, it waits for me, and the woods are calling my name.
Oh man, that is so good. That's called Old Sweet Home. And what draws me to that is that it's got like the core of the like a banjo sound to me, and like a lot of the people we have on this podcast, we have. It's just me doing this. A lot of the people I have on this podcast, they're like top technicians of virtuosity, like in the banjo world. And I just want to like clarify, like what is good in music is like something like a quality that makes you feel something. And like when I listen to this is what draws me to old time music, is like that banjo sound, that simplicity. Like you don't need much more than that to like frame a beautiful song. Like all you hear is the bowed bass, the fiddle, the banjo, and I mean that to me is beautiful, and that to me is inspiring. Like it really carries the song, and I love it. I love this song.
Thank you, Hillary.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I look for the same thing in music for sure.
Yeah. And this song too, like I feel like it's hard to find a good song about home that feels genuine. And I just was really like, dang, you did it. You wrote a great song about home that doesn't sound cheesy, you know?
I actually wrote that when I moved back to Eureka Springs.
Aw.
That's an example of a song that I wrote with the melody first.
Oh yeah?
I was picking out that melody on the banjo, and I was like, this sounds like a Stephen Foster old melody or something. I was like, I wonder what I'm copying right now. And then I was like, maybe I'll try to write some words to it. So yeah, I don't usually do it that way, but
hey, if it works, it works. You know, it might have worked 200 years ago, and it still works. You know.
Yeah.
What kind of banjo are you playing, or do you have one that you play a lot?
I have a Bart Ryder right now. It's right here next to me.
You know, that's what I play too. That's my favorite, the Bart Ryder.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like this Bart Ryder. I was playing a Daring Good Time, which is kind of more of a student model for a long time, and I decided to invest in my banjo playing and get a slightly better banjo, and it is a lot more fun to play when it sounds good.
Yeah, those Bart Ryders are the best. Okay, cool. Well, I want to contrast that one with this other tune that I know you recorded with Sad Daddy, but you also recorded it on your album with Rebecca called Where the Heart Wants to Go. It's the Buffalo Gals band that you still play in. You guys still do this band together.
We do, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to play Back in Arkansas. All right, here we go.
Packing up my picket, leaving town. Packing up my picket, Arkansas bound. I'm leaving this city, Arkansas bound. Oh, I'm leaving this city, Arkansas bound.
That's such a fun song. Oh man, yeah, no, it's great. It's like I've said it like on this podcast, like we don't really have music like that here. Like, you know, people can cover tunes, but no one's writing songs like that. It's so fun and so simple, and really gives you the feeling of what Arkansas meant to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I lived in Arkansas a long time, pretty rural Arkansas. So, and I'm glad I did, because I think it feels like it's become like a big part of who I am. And I love approaching all my music from sort of that hillbilly place, you know.
Yeah?
I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. Like I feel like even the stuff that I write that's more sophisticated, people can tell that's my roots still, you know.
Yeah. I mean, do you like the combination of kind of stretching yourself? Like now you're doing a lot of more, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like Texas swing kind of stuff or blues kind of rockabilly?
I've gotten into a lot of like what you could call Western swing or old time jazz, and then some R&B, soul, some stuff that is combining, like you said, maybe rockabilly if it's like a little bit of country and blues and early rock and roll. I like to write in all those styles. It's fun. Just I never know what a song's going to turn out to be, if it's going to what style it'll turn out to be. Well, sometimes I do. Like at the beginning, if the subject matter, like back in Arkansas, that was obviously going to be an old time hillbilly tune, and then I wrote it like in my head, like I told you I read a lot of things, and then I knew that it was going to be best represented with the clawhammer banjo, and it's actually really fun to play on the clawhammer.
Yeah, no, it sounds like an old tune that people would cover. Like it's awesome, and maybe you're not aware of it, but I think that you create a mood for people that's like a carefree a little bit. Like you want like people to kind of just have a good time and not worry so much. And I feel like a lot of your songs, whether it's the banjo songs that we're listening to or like the stuff you're doing on the bass and singing, like that's kind of a feeling I get from all your music, and I it kind of lets me let go a little bit.
I like that.
I feel like you're kind of one of those people right now where things are kind of falling into place for you. Like things are easy, but like I said in the beginning, you've been working hard for a long time, and I know that it always hasn't been like big venues and things going well. And I just wanted to ask, like, as like advice or for people listening out there, how did you deal? Or how have you dealt with like the waiting and the frustration, like when there's days that you just maybe didn't want to keep doing it, or you weren't sure like what was going to be the outcome of your hard work? What has kept you on your path?
No, well, partially I don't really know how to do anything else.
I feel that.
And I really do enjoy it overall. It's better than a regular day job. To me, because I can't stand, like, I tried a 40-hour-a-week thing, I think, once or twice when I was younger, and I knew that was not going to work for me. So at least, there's a lot of freedom involved with just being an entrepreneur and making your own way. It's having your own business, really. There's been many times where I felt like how much longer can I do this? Like, how much longer can I keep playing these bar gigs?
Yeah.
These late night bar gigs, night after night, and playing to people not listening, and the sound is bad, and blah, all the things. But I don't know. I kind of in my heart I kind of knew that maybe something else was in store for me if I kept doing it. But then, honestly, like, I didn't know how. Like, I didn't know how that was going to happen, and I felt led to move to Nashville. Rebecca and I did, from Arkansas. I had moved back to Arkansas, and we felt our music was getting stagnant there, and so we were checking out some different towns, and we took a vacation in Nashville, and were really inspired by the music scene there and the shows we went out to see. It felt like that's where we were supposed to move. I didn't really want to move back to a city. I like living in the country. And so, but then we moved there, and I felt like that was where I was supposed to meet the musicians and the producers that made my Daddy's Country Gold album, and that's where I made it. And just something magical happened with that album, and I invested every bit of money I had into that album.
Wow.
And then I invested every bit of money that I made, after I made the album, into the PR, into press and radio, and doing all those things, making that investment in myself, it actually paid off. I had to turn right around and do it again with Ramblin' Soul, but finally things are starting to, I'm getting some help, and I'm getting better shows, and I'm getting yeah, things, now it makes sense. I understand, like, I'm at a different level, and now at this level I can actually make a true living, save something back, buy a house, buy a piece of land, like all those things. Like, I'm like, oh wow, I can do those things with music, making my living with music. And before, I was like, maybe someday I could just buy a teeny little shack and a little piece of land. I don't know, I'm like, but yeah, anyway, it's really, I'm glad that I stuck with it. And I'm glad I followed my instincts and invested in myself. So,
man, it's bringing a tear to my eye. All the things that you're saying, It's really, really, that makes me so happy. And it is like the fear that I have. Like, it's like, if I keep investing or keep sticking with it, is it not going to pay off? Like I have those fears, and like the same thing. I'm always like, I hope someday that I can just buy a house, dye my hair, get a Ford, get a dog. Like, these are the goals I have for myself. And it's like, it's that, and they're that small, but like that's all I want, really. And I hope, I can get there with, it's hard to save money. And I'm just so psyched for you, man. It's like great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And I know the price of living in New York City has got to be, I can't even imagine what it is. Are you in the city right now?
Oh, I am. I'm in Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm here, yeah.
And I mean, Austin, it's pretty high now, too.
Are you in Austin, or I wasn't sure if you were in Nashville?
Yeah, we are back in Austin.
Okay.
So I moved back to Texas. Rebecca and I moved back to Texas 3 years ago from Nashville. And then we were on a farm in Bastrop, which is just 45 minutes out of Austin. We were on this farm for 2 years, and then Rebecca actually, we have a house now in South Austin. She has a lot of stuff in town, so it makes sense for us to be in town. And it's a nice neighborhood. It's kind of peaceful. So I still want to buy the farm someday.
That's
My
great.
dream.
Yeah. Well, I've heard good things about Austin. I've heard good things about Nashville. New York City's really fun. So, I support all places where people live and make music. It's good stuff. We're all doing the good hard work, and
that's right.
And you especially are. And congrats on the Grand Ole Opry debut. And I saw some video of that, and it's like so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was really amazing. Like you said, like a dream come true. I couldn't quite believe it was happening. So it's that was exciting, and looks like I'll get to do it again this year with Kelly and Brennan. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that yet, but oh well, who cares?
All right, well, we're going to wrap up the banjo chat, and I'm going to play a little Ramblin' Soul on the way out so people can hear your newest album. And everybody go check out Melissa Carper. Go see a show. They can find you on melissacarper.com. Go buy some music on melissacarper.bandcamp.com. And anything else that you want to add before we sign off here?
Man, I really can't think of anything. It's just been a real pleasure getting to talk with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being on the chat. And thanks everybody for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can go to banjochat. No. I can't remember anything. You can go to banjochatpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram @banjochat. And if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/banjochat.
Oh Lord, I'm a rambling soul. Where do I call my home? It's out on the open road, just wherever that wind does blow. I love the feeling of the freeway, rolling down the hills and plains. No, you can't keep me in a hole, 'cause Lord, I'm a rambling soul. I'm gonna ramble down to Arkansas, go see my ma and pa, then on over to New Mexico and visit the old Pueblo. Would you like the red or green chilies? I've never tasted something so tasty.